Al-IyamoyeTv Radio, Voice of the Voiceless. Al-IyamoyeTv Radio, Voice of the Voiceless.
Good afternoon, welcome to the World News on Al-IyamoyeTv and Radio. Here are the major top stories. Uncertainty trails planned airliftings of Nigerians' Hajj pilgrims to Saudi Arabia. Tinubu promises incentives to keep judges away from corrupt practices. Nayekan says Tinubu should not be sworn in until tribunal clears Obi Atiku petitions. Ogun NPP crisis deepens as national leadership expels state chairman. Governor Abiodun restates administration's fight against cultism, other criminal activities. And in business, federal government wants traditional ruler Federal government wants traditional rulers to stay clear of mining site. And on the foreign scene, U.S. President okay sanctions against Sudan over continued fighting. And in sports, Victor Osimhen handed Napoli's Serie A title with 1-1 draw at Udinese. Details of this and more coming up shortly. Welcome back. I am OLUWAFISAYOMI AJIBOLA. The ongoing war in Sudan is threatening the airliftings of Nigerians intending pilgrims to Saudi Arabia for the 2023 Hajj exercise. About 95,000 intending pilgrims are expected to participate in the Hajj exercise. The planned airlifting of the intending pilgrims appear to have run into a hitch following the refusal of 4 of the 5 airlines approved to airlift them to go ahead. Only one of the airlines, Flynas, which is given the right to airlift 40% of the pilgrims, agreed to sign the agreement with the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NACON on Thursday. Chairman of the commission, Alhaji Sikirullah Hassan, made this known after a meeting with the officials of the airlines in Abuja. He told newsmen that 4 airlines refused to sign the airlifting agreement on the ground that they could not fly their planes across Sudanese airspace, which had been shut down due to the ongoing war. Hassan said the airlines would have to find alternative routes to reach Saudi Arabia. He however said there is hope that the war in Sudan may abate before the takeoff of the airlifting of the pilgrims. Meanwhile, he said the Commission hopes to resolve issues with all the airlines latest Tuesday next week. President-elect Bola Tinubu has promised that his administration would introduce policies and incentives that would discourage judges and other judicial officers from corrupt practices. According to him, if Nigeria does not want its justice to be corrupt, then it must take care of their welfare. He spoke on this in Port Harcourt while commissioning the magistrate court complex in the city on the second day of his visit to Rivers State on the invitation of Governor Nyesom Wike. He said that judges should not be allowed to live or operate in sequel. The president-elect said the temptation for corruption by workers in the public sector will reduce if they have ready access to consumers' credit facilities to meet their essential needs. The West African Examination Council (WAEC) has announced the takeoff of the May-June 2023 West African Senior Secondary School Examination (SSCE) from May 8. The examination is scheduled to end on June 3. Head of WAEC National Office, Patrick Ariaga, announced the takeoff date of the examination at the news conference on Thursday in Lagos. He said that a total of 1,621,853 students have registered for the examination from 20,351 public and private senior secondary schools. 788,810 of the candidates are males, while 823,043 are females. Aragan said they will be examined in 76 subjects. Bishop Emeritus of Archdiocese of Abuja, Cardinal John Oyenaikon, has called for a review of the electoral process to ensure that all petitions filed against those elected are resolved before they are sworn into office. According to the cleric, it does not make sense to swear in elected president and others when petitions filed by their opponent against them are still in courts. Cardinal Oyedekan, speaking on a television program on Thursday, said he was still awaiting the 2023 Presidential Petition Tribunal to make its pronouncement on the actual winner of the February 25 presidential poll. He described the current situation where the victory of the president-elect Bola Tinubu is still being challenged in court as a normal law situation. The cleric believed the poll was rigged, but said God knows who rigged the poll. Defense headquarters says military is on top alert to ensure that the May 29 handover of power takes place without any unwanted occurrence. Director of Defense Media Operations Major General Musab Dammadani gave this indication on Thursday at a news briefing at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. He assured that the military and other security agencies will ensure that the May 29 inaugurations of the new president takes place. Last month, there was agitation in some quarters for installations of an interim national government. The military and Department of State Service have warned those advocating for interim government or coup against democracy to think twice. The House of Representatives has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to remove fictitious names and those of dead Nigerians from its voters register, describing it as bogus. The House made the call at the plenary on Thursday following the unanimous adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by a member, Leke Abejide. Abejide in his submission said INEC register is full of millions of who are either dead or not existent persons. The lawmaker also resolved that the INEC should develop a mechanism or software application where families who lost their loved ones can report the demise of a particular permanent voter's card number. The president-elect Bola Tinubu on Thursday said the unity of Nigerians is non-negotiable, assuring all citizens that it will be fair to all. Tinubu spoke when he commissioned the magistrate court complex in Port Harcourt, built by the administrations of Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State. The president-elect, who ended his two-day official visit to the oil-rich South State on Thursday, said Nigerians must tolerate one another. The crisis in Ogun State chapter of New Nigerian People's Party (NNPP) continues to fester as the state chairman, Comrade Olakpose Ogini, has been expelled from the party. The party accused him of anti-party activities, alleging that he worked for another political party during the 2023 polls in Ogun State. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Dr. Agwo Mayo, announced the expulsion at the end of the emergency meeting of the National Working Committee in Abuja on Thursday. Early this week, Ogini had gone to court seeking an order to restrain the National Working Committee from interfering in the running of the party in Ogun State. Earlier, the State Executive Committee led by Ogini had also applied to the Ogun State 2023 Post Petition Tribunal to withdraw all the petitions filed by the party to challenge the conduct of the 2023 polls in the state. The National Working Committee, however, notified the tribunal that the request should be ignored. Two suspected cultists have been arrested in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The suspects were paraded by the State Police Commissioner, Olarewaju Oladimeji, at the headquarters of the State Police Command in Lewero, Abeokuta. The commissioner said the suspects who were arrested at Elega Aziz, Abeokuta, are members of the IA confraternity. According to the police chief, the suspects were arrested while their members were preparing for a supremacy battle with members of a rival cult. He said the cultists engaged a police team which swept on their meeting place, resulting in an exchange of gunfire for several hours, leaving two of them injured while others escaped. Also paraded were four other suspected cultists, including two members of the IA confraternity at Ibiroko. Items recovered from them include two locally made guns, 5 expended cartridges, charms, a battle axe, 2 locally made shotguns, and 4 live cartridges. You are listening to the world news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Still to come after this break, business, foreign and sport. Do stay with us. Welcome back. On the foreign scene, President Joe Biden has issued an executive order authorizing sanctions against Sudan, saying the fighting must end. Mr. Biden called the violence a tragedy and a betrayal of Sudanese people. He said the violence in Sudan was an unusual and extraordinary threat to national security and foreign policy on the United States. Meanwhile, another ceasefire in Sudan has failed to hold, with heavy fighting continuing in the capital, Khartoum. Witnesses reported loud explosions and gunfire on the city street, while heavy bombardment also rang out in the adjoining cities of Odem and Bari. The United Nations Refugee Agency said it was planning for an exodus of more than 800,000 people from Sudan. In business, the federal government on Thursday warned traditional rulers nationwide to stay clear of mining sites, saying those locations belongs to landowners. Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamileko Adegbite, disclosed this during the inauguration of the International Gemstone Market under the Economic Sustainability Plan of the government in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The minister was responding to the goodwill message of Okere of Shaki, Oba Khalid Olabisi, and the activities of miners in his domain and the need for encouragement of local miners. Adegbite said the Mineral and Miner Act 2007 was in favor of the rightful owner of the proposed site for mining activities, not the traditional rulers. The federal government says the cost of electricity consumption in Nigeria is the cheapest and most defaulted by consumers in the world. The Minister of State for Power, Abubakar Aliyu, made this known on Thursday in Abuja during an interactive section with the State Committee on Power and heads of various agencies in the power sector. The minister in his submission said electricity was highly subsidized in Nigeria by the federal government, which made it cost to be cheapest across the globe. He, however, lamented that while the government is doing everything possible to make electricity affordable and available for Nigerians, many of ordinary consumers, even critical agencies of government, default in payment of bills. Now in sport, Nigerian international Victor Osimhen has scored the winning goal to give Napoli their first Italian Serie A title since 1990. He became the second Nigerian to win Serie A title, joining Obafemi Martins. The Napoleons faced off against Udinese at Desia Arena drew 1-1, winning the Serie A title for the third time in club history. Udinese was eager to ruin their celebration by giving Luciano Spallettini's team a tense start, and they did so in the 13th minute when an unmarked Sadi Lovric scored from inside the penalty area. After that, Osimhen had several chances to respond with a goal for Napoli, but he sent one header into Marco Severi's hand and another to the far post. Alexis McAllister's 99th goal minute penalty and Brighton all 3 points against Manchester United in Thursday's Premier League game. The Seagulls won the game with the last kick after Luke Shaw was penalised for a handball in the box following a VAR review. Roberto De Zerbi's side moved to 6th in the Premier League table. The defeat means Manchester United remain in 4th and 4 points clear of Liverpool in 5th position. To end the world news, here is a quick recap of the major stories. Uncertainty trails planned airliftings of Nigerians Hajj pilgrims to Saudi Arabia. Tinubu promises incentives to keep judges away from corrupt practices. Ogun NPP's crisis deepens as national leadership expels state chairman. Governor Abiodun restates administration's fight against cultism, other criminal activities. In business, we did tell you that the federal government wants traditional rulers to steer clear of mining sites. And on the foreign scene, U.S. President okay sanctions against Sudan over continued fighting. And lastly in sport, Victor Osimhen handed Napoli Serie A title with a 1-1 draw with Udinese. That was the midday news. The world news was produced by Abidat Tawheed. For more details, you can follow us on social media on www.facebook.com/Al-IyamoyeTv and radio, on Twitter at AJIBOLA and on Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTV. You can also stream by logging on to our website at www.aliyamoyetvradio.com. Thanks for listening. I am OLUWAFISAYOMI AJIBOLA. Good afternoon.